When it comes to the family structure, as followers of the way and as followers of Christ, did the leaders of the faith sell us out? For example, the Roman Catholic Church, the perceived leaders of our faith, they have set the wrong example when it comes to the family structure. The priests have no wives and are no model for men to follow when it comes to raising a family or being the head of a household. The nuns have no husbands and therefore are no model for women to follow when it comes to being a helpmate to her husband. The numerous allegations of homosexuality and child molestation within the Catholic Church turns the stomachs of believers and non-believers alike. Therefore, when it comes to the Catholic Church, there is no model of a successful family from any of its leaders. Therefore, they have no positive impact on this generation when it comes to the family structure. When the Most High gave his laws to Moses, it shows the value placed on family and on virgin women and the importance of the virginity of a bride at the time of her wedding. In the secular world, however, there is no value on virgin women. The only people who care about the virginity of a young lady may be her father, her mother, her brother. A lot of times she may not even care about her virginity. She's encouraged to start having sex while she's in middle school and high school. They hand out condoms at the school. They aim for the virgins to be defiled before they even think about getting married. The girls are not raised to be wives. They are raised to go to school and to get jobs. The secular educational system puts no value on family. Many fathers have to live with the pains of knowing their daughter is having sex with men that she isn't married to when she goes off to college. And the father has to deal with the pains of knowing this when he sends her off to college. The young women think it's okay to have sex with multiple men because it's encouraged in the movies, the music, and in TV commercials. Many young women have to deal with the pains of abandonment and heartbreak after being abandoned by the man they gave their virginity to. A lot of them get bad advice from their friends who have also dealt with the same thing. Their friends who have also dealt with the abandonment of being discarded after being defiled by the man that they gave their virginity to. But of course, misery loves company, so they encourage their innocent friends to fall down the wrong path. Men marry women that are not virgins, and the divorce rate is very high. Of course, it's pharmaceutical companies profit from the chaos by encouraging women to take birth control pills, and of course they make money from the organs of aborted fetuses. Oh yes, secular culture is full of wickedness, and only the wicked glory in it. The sodomites, whores, and whoremongers. The secular culture lures you in with vanity, the promise of a better life, the promise of wealth and riches. And the path of entry is with the educational system. This system has deceived many for many generations. Our parents were lured into the system, but how did the church get lured in? As followers of Christ, we send our children out into the world to get brainwashed by the world. We get tempted with the vanity and the promise of the world at the expense of our integrity. We are entertained by their music and their movies. Even though they program our minds and the minds of our children to follow the path of darkness, how did the church leaders miss this? Or did they know this, but decided to lead generations of innocent souls into darkness? What we have today is a church without a culture. The only culture that's apparent is to gathering together in a building one day out of the week, or maybe twice or 3 times a week. A culture that the pastor's daughter has a reputation of being a whore to the world. The daughter of the pastor lives with this stigma even if she isn't a whore. That's how bad it is. This means that for many generations, pastors have bought into the lures of vanity of the secular world Most likely, the pastor's daughter is in a secular educational institution with a bunch of kids influenced by the secular culture, buying into the so-called dating culture, and the pastor didn't find a good man in his community, to pair up with his daughter while she was a virgin of childbearing age. We understand that the secular culture is rooted in wickedness, and when a girl is in heat and she's ready to start having sex and commit to a man, she is trapped in an educational system that prolongs her childhood, when in reality she's becoming a woman. She is set up for failure because eventually she will have sex with a boy that has no intention of marrying her and most likely not equipped to carry the responsibility of manhood. She ends up getting defiled and discarded. This is a cultural norm in the secular society. But when it comes to followers of Christ, why do we subject our daughters to this wickedness, creating long-lasting damage to their psyche to the point where it could be near impossible for them to trust a man for the rest of her life? And many innocent men will pay the price for the damage that has been done to these women. What I don't understand is, with the innumerable numbers of churches and pastors who went to seminary school and studied the Bible, none of them had the courage to protect their congregation or even their own children from the wickedness of the secular world. Instead of telling the world a vision on how we can make the world a better place and about our traditions and spiritual riches of God's kingdom, we allow the wicked secular world to sell us fantasies about their wicked culture, how people can find happiness while rebelling against the Most High, when in reality, the consequences for following the secular culture is pain, loneliness, depression, addiction, and suicide. Some of the responsibility also falls on the parents. So-called Christian parents are not raising their daughters to be wives. Instead of protecting their daughters from the wickedness of the secular world, they actually send their daughters into the secular world. Most of the time selfishly, in order to live vicariously through the child, in order to brag to their friends, saying, my daughter is in this school, my daughter is in that school, my daughter is a doctor, my daughter is a lawyer, my daughter is a nurse. Many parents do this in order to maintain ownership and control over their daughters. The child becomes an object of vanity. This erroneous state of mind of parents even brings pain to themselves, because many parents send their daughters off to college painfully knowing that she will be sexually active without a husband, but they do it anyway, all in the name of bragging about their children. It is also a generational curse, because most of the time the mother of the child wasn't a virgin when she got married, so they see nothing wrong with it, and the erroneous way of thinking passes down to another generation. The lunacy is even worse now by so-called Christian parents, because they send their young children to schools that are now teaching them about homosexuality, even in elementary school. Teaching our children to normalize the abominable acts. It's unreasonable and it's unbelievable.